Welcome to today's episode. If you are a coach with no audience, no email list, and no idea how to get seen, what if I told you that in just 30 minutes, you could create a talk and you could have a breakthrough in your business, a breakthrough that could change your entire business? If this is something you're looking for, then this episode is for you. I'm Debbie Shadid. I've been in business for over 2 decades and I've been helping really over 1,000 coaches learn how to get clients. In this episode, I want to introduce you to a friend, a former client, and our guest speaker at our upcoming summit. Her name is Amber Abila. Amber, tell us about your business. Tell us who you coach and what we should know about you.
Hi, Debbie. Thanks so much for having me on again. I'm Amber Abila. I'm a binge eating and overeating coach. So I help people rewire their brain around food so they can feel normal and in control around any food they want. I became a coach after struggling with binge eating for many years myself. I thought I was just going crazy around food, but once I started viewing my eating habits as just that, habits, everything really shifted for me. And I learned mindset coaching tools. I learned how our unconscious brain works. And I really had to share that with other people after being stuck with food for so long. And I'm so excited to get to talk to you about the summit today that I was in last year and that I'll be in again this year.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to talk through Amber's experience in the summit. We're going to talk about what we do to support our clients. But first, if you're new to my world, I want to tell you about the Design Live Thrive Summit. So, this is a summit that I created to actually showcase our clients. When I work with people and we get their businesses built and they're growing their business, they're launching group programs, they're working privately with clients, whatever it might be, I kept seeing that there was still a gap for people. And the first thing is that they needed to have respect. They needed to be respected by a lot of times it was their own family, coworkers in their full-time job, or friends who thought they were crazy for being coaches. And also, they needed to be respected as an authority in the coaching space so that people would consider hiring them. It's like build, know, like, and trust. So that was my goal with the summit is how do I get my clients on a platform where they can showcase their expertise in front of their ideal client? That's the first part. Plus, I am very passionate about coaching just all the way around. And I really wanted to be able to educate women about coaching. I think if you ask a woman on the street, tell me what a life coach does, they would say they help you with your goals and they help you provide accountability and those kind of things that are so surface level. Amber and I know it's so much deeper than that when it comes to coaching. And the summit provides a way for people to come and not be sold to all day long and listen and learn from coaches about the various things like Amber's going to talk about the coaching that she does. It's a way for our clients to get in touch with women who would be their clients. And then also, like I said, for women to get the education so they know the value of coaching. Today, I was inspired to bring Amber on because of my own experience last week in a summit. I was actually in a summit and I had prepared for it probably about a month earlier. And after the summit wrapped up, I'm going to be honest here. The first thing I realized was, uh-oh, I don't even have a follow-up email written after this summit. Here I gathered all these leads for the summit, and I didn't write an email that was ready to go to all the people who had subscribed to my freebie from the summit, which is interesting because this is exactly what I do with our clients. But the deal is the lady who was hosting the summit, and I'm so glad to be invited, but she was like, just send us your talk. And that was the only instructions that we had. And I realized, like, wow, what we provide for people and how we help them get ready for a summit and how they now know what to do on any summit, because I know what to do on a summit, but truthfully, I just wasn't prepared either. Amber, I'd love to talk about your experience in getting prepared for the summit and kind of the ways that we supported you along the way and what you thought.
The first thing I want to point out that I love that you mentioned was this authority piece. And I remembered when I started posting about, oh, I was invited to the summit. And that's how you can phrase it too, is I was invited into the summit. I had my uncle, my aunt, my grandma all commenting on my Facebook post. Wow, congrats. Like you're in a summit. Even my old nanny family, the mom was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so I remember getting all those comments and really thinking like, wow, like this is a big deal. Like, and people really look highly upon someone who is being invited on as a speaker. So I love that authority piece that you mentioned. But yeah, when I was going into the summit, I had already been working with Debbie for, gosh, I don't know, probably 6 months or so. I had
Yeah.
had some experience already from being in your program. So I actually felt pretty prepared for the summit because Debbie's program had already versed me on how to do a workshop, on how to do marketing, how to get my messaging out there. But as I began doing the summit preparation, it really amazed me how much she really went through and gave us to do in a really easy way that was all very done for you. You gave us the marketing, the emails. You just had to, fill in the blank of what your talk was, what you were doing. And so it made it really easy to promote, really easy to do the Instagram, the email, Facebook post. And I think that allowed me to do a lot more marketing for it, which meant more people were joining the summit, which meant more eyes from everyone. Because when it's really hard for people to do the marketing, then no one's really talking about it. But I think by you making it really easy to do all those things, everyone was talking about it a ton, which meant there was so many people at the summit that we could speak to then.
We had a schedule for social media posts, and we would create the caption and we would create the graphic with your photo on it or with the speaker's photos on it and their summit talk title that we actually helped them create their summit talk title, their script for their summit. We did the presentation slide. They did practice rounds that we reviewed. I mean, it was everything. But the social media even had a schedule of like, on this particular day, everybody post this graphic. So it would be like 32 people post social media posts all about the summit on the same day, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, we were doing it too. And I have a decent sized list. And then I have an old list from a previous business that we're using too for it. So collectively, the amount of people that you get exposed to when you're in a summit, it's like lots and lots of people that are not in your world that now become your audience, which is pretty cool.
And that's one of the best parts about the summit is everyone has different people from their own world, different family, different friends, different connections they've made that you don't have access to right now. And so when you do the marketing and everyone else joins the summit from their individual world, they probably have people who are struggling with binge eating who maybe they don't help. Maybe they are a marketing coach or another type of coach. And then they need someone in their audience to help their people with binge eating. Or maybe I have someone in my audience who needs business help and then they find Debbie or someone else. So it's a really nice way to like collectively get different people on to different people's eyes on your work in a way that you wouldn't had before. And again, just like the ease of the marketing and doing that, I think is a huge bonus because you don't have to sit there and think, how do I want to market this? Like, oh, I have so much else going on in my business too right now. Or I want to do this other thing. But it's like, okay, I just need to do exactly what Debbie tells me and then the marketing will be done.
So, Amber, when you came to work with us, you already had a business started. And in that 6 months' time before the summit, you had really grown your business well. So, it's true, you were doing a lot of those things. But we have a lot of the summit speakers, as you well know, who literally were building their first website. They had never posted on social media. Like we were teaching them how to get the graphic on Instagram. They hadn't done any email marketing. And for those people, wow. I mean, it was like not just launching your business, but they were launching their business with 10 emails, 10 social media posts. Like all of a sudden I'm a speaker and in front of, I think last year we had about 560 something people sign up. It was a big deal because there was a lot of people. When you start your business now, most people have nobody following them. They can't even think of who it is. The thing about the summit is you get to invite your friends.
Right.
You don't have to decide, are they my niche client or not? Because they're somebody's niche client. Just invite everybody that you know to come because they'll be somebody's niche client.
And that's such a good point because I often, in the beginning, I might have invited my friends to my stuff, but I don't invite them anymore to my workshop on 6 steps to stop binge eating because I just know they're my friends. They're not really here to buy things from me at this point. And so by inviting our friends, like then they can experience the magic of coaching too. And I think it helps them understand what we do a little bit better. Like you said, most people don't really know what coaching is. And so when they get the summit of all these coaches, then your friends understand better, your family understands better. And that really helps them understand your coaching more and maybe expand your connections that way once they know what you do a bit more.
Tice Glenn, our mindset coach inside of the program, she also was a former client and she did our first summit. And her talk that she did, she said, I've literally, anytime anybody has asked me, hey, you want to be in our summit? She's like, oh, sure, I've got a talk. And she sends off the talk. that's already been recorded because we actually give you an edited version of your own talk back. So she's like, I've got everything I need. I have the freebie, I have the talk, I'm ready to go. So you're right. It does make for, it basically prepares you to be able to do any other kind of talking that you would do.
Mm. Yeah, even podcasts and things, like, if you keep your outline and your script from the workshop that you teach, you can use that as an outline if you were a guest on any podcast. If you ever start your own podcast, you can use it. I remember when I first started my podcast, it was like the 7th episode I did on how to eat anything in moderation, and I literally just took my workshop that I did and turned it into a podcast, and that made it so much easy to just go off of what I've already taught.
I've done that plenty of times too. One thing I'll tell you is that you touched on fear of doing it. And there's a couple of things. If you're listening and you're like, okay, I think I want to do this and I don't have an audience and somehow I need to build my business and but this really terrifies me. First of all, we do have a mindset coach and we do all kinds of coaching around getting prepared for it. We even have trial runs where we let you do it and you can record yourself and send it to us and we'll give you feedback. We give honest, truthful feedback. I was actually watching Amber's this morning, Amber's original talk that she submitted to us for her preview. I was looking at that because I was going to share it with the upcoming speakers of this is what you would submit to us for a pre-summit evaluation of the talk. So we are literally along every step of the way. And maybe some of the people at the time didn't appreciate it, but sometimes we said, I know you took a bunch of times to record it, but it still didn't have enough energy. You can't show up and talk like you're reading a script. It won't work that way. In the end, people were glad. And for sure, after the summit, Amber, maybe you can share, you feel like you're on cloud nine. It is such a fun experience.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so fun getting to see all the other coaches' things too, because of course, as coaches, we love coaching. And so
Yep.
it's just really unique to be able to see what other people are teaching, other topics that you want to learn from too. And then, of course, like after you give your own presentation, you get this overwhelming sense of accomplishment of it's like, it's done, I did it. And you're so proud of yourself. And it's really something that you can take as an accomplishment moving forward.
We will have anybody who speaks in the summit will either be on two podcasts that are right before the summit or two podcasts right after the summit. And the podcast right after the summit, we actually do on Sunday afternoon. The summit is on Friday, September 5th and Saturday, September 6th. And so Sunday afternoon, the ones that are going to do the after the summit podcast, we get together and we do our podcast episodes then. It is so much fun because people have accomplished something that they never imagined that they would be able to do. And all of a sudden, you're not scared to do anything. It's like, I've accomplished sending emails. I've accomplished doing social media. I've told people, really put myself out there about my business that I'm a coach and everybody knows, like I've outed myself now. Plus, then I've talked in front of people. I've shared exactly about my expertise and the level of confidence really that happens after that is super fun. It really
Mhm.
is exciting.
Yeah. And it's so nice to have someone giving you that feedback, like you mentioned, to have someone, tell you those things that sometimes are a little scary to hear, but like you want to know if you need to speak up because that's going to improve your speaking skills for years to come. And so you're getting that like very one-on-one feedback too that can help you improve so you do feel more confident than the next time you give a presentation and the next time and the next time and then the next time you send out an email and do the marketing. You've already started building the essential skills of having a business.
After the summit is over, we even help you with the piece that I was talking about at the beginning of this podcast. We actually help you prepare your emails that will go after the summit before the summit goes. Before you actually speak, you'll have your emails prepared and scheduled so that you can send out to anybody that gets your freebie, which will help you create your freebie too and how you get it set up so they can get it. But you'll have an email that will go out like on Monday after the summit that will say, thanks for attending my talk. Here's the thing that I gave you. If you didn't get it on the talk, here it is again. So you'll know how to follow up with people because it's a great opportunity then to invite them potentially to maybe a second thing. Maybe it's a open coaching session to discuss the topic of like overeating or something like that, or a follow-up workshop the next weekend. It's a deep dive into what you did during the summit. So we do our best to make sure that every bit of every single step that you think you need to do, and the things that you don't even know you need to do are all covered during the
Mhm.
process.
That follow-up is so important too, because if you do the summit and then you do nothing after, people are so busy. Someone might seek you out, but they really need those reminders of, here's who I am, here's what you watched, here's my free gift for you, here's what I have to offer you. And then that's the follow-up that makes it really easy for them to take the next step, whether that's booking a consultation or joining your program. And I think it's also really good practice to get over any fears you have about emailing people too much, which I know is like always a big fear in the beginning, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be spammy. And I used to think that too. I now email people almost every single day. I know you do too, Debbie. And it's really what we need to do. Every other big business you see out there is emailing people every single day. And so if you want to grow your business, you have to be sending the follow-ups and letting people know who you are. We're going through our emails like scroll, 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 scroll. We're not looking at them that closely. And so the follow-up is so important too, making sure that you keep touching base with people, offering value, telling them about your story, what you're doing. But I know that Debbie, you give like really nice templates and guidance on how to actually do that too and what to say to the people after.
So let's talk about email list growth for just a minute, because if you are a relatively new coach and you're not already emailing people, or maybe you have a handful of people on your list, it is a slow process to grow your email list organically. And I'm not in favor in the beginning of your business to run ads, because you have so many other pieces of your business you need to know how to do. Like you need to know how to sell before you go running an ad. But it's a great opportunity to just get a real boost on your list, because anybody that attended your talk can basically get a freebie from you, a gift of some kind. What is your talk gift that you gave, Amber?
So I have it called a Stop a Binge audio, and it's a 7-minute audio that people can listen to anytime they have these urges and cravings to eat or to binge. And so it's something that's really useful because people like want something to help them go through those urges. And me and Debbie were just talking about like how audios are such a good way. And so if you can record just like a quick audio or even just like a checklist, something just easy, then it provides them value. So that way they have even more information from you, then they trust you even more, and then they feel like they've got something for you. And you could probably speak on this too, but like the psychology is then they want to give you back something in return. So then now that they've gotten a gift for you, then they're more likely to book a consultation or to join your program because they feel like they've gotten so much from you already.
So with AI, I can't not have a podcast and talk about AI these days. But with AI, what I said during this recent summit that I was a part of was that AI is really good at producing content, but not clients. And one thing that I think that we're going to see out there in the world, or that we're already seeing, if you're a coach and maybe you're guilty of doing it yourself, not you, Amber, but some coach may be listening, is it's easy to go to ChatGPT or whatever platform and say, create me a freebie. And it
Mhm.
can do a checklist in 10 seconds. And you can think, I've got the thing that's amazing. I'm going to put it out there. But here's the deal, you really need to have a freebie that is of value, that really is something that somebody will consume. I always say you have to sell the freebie, get them to give you the email address. You have to sell them on using the freebie. They have to listen to your audio to understand you and what you do to take the next steps. That is another piece that we'll be working with people on. And I think these are just important things that you get set up in your business. All the coaches that are using AI, I don't think they're going to make it. I really don't. The coaches that have come on new on the scene, the people who are really carefully thinking about what their ideal client needs and spending the extra time to create something. Of course, we all use Chat GPT to help, but really being conscious about what your person needs, those are the coaches that I think will win.
I heard another quote similar to that, which is people don't buy coaching, they buy coaches. So people are trying to buy from real humans. They don't really care about your coaching. To a degree, yes, they do. They want to
Yeah.
make sure they get results from you, but they're really buying because they know you, they trust your story, they like the methods you use, and AI just can't replicate that. It can't give you that. And I am more than guilty of using ChatGPT when I'm lazily wanting to write an email. But I tell nowadays too, I can spot out when a coach has used something, all the little dashes and
Yeah.
they say like the 3 things in a row and it's not like this, it's like that. Like it's so easy for me to spot it now. And I think other people are either consciously or unconsciously noticing it's AI too. And so I think Important to remember too that if it is your first time doing a summit or a workshop, or even just like sending out emails for the first time, that people don't want you to be perfect. People just want you to be yourself and to be a real human, because there's so much AI generated stuff. There's so many people that are getting emails that are just like bland and boring, that if you can just infuse a little of your personality into it, you're like instantly going to stand out from the crowd so much more than everyone else.
For sure. And I swear the people who attend the summit are like cheering you on while you're giving your
Mhm.
talk. They really are. We did have some clients, and we will have some this year as well, that will submit pre-recorded talks. We will actually release those ahead of the summit. We call them our pre-summit talks, a set of workshops that were released early. If you're one of those people that's, I want to do it, but I just can't do the talking part, okay, no problem. We've got you covered too, because we do actually send some talks ahead of time. But Amber, before we wrap up, what do you think the impact was of doing the summit on you, on your business, on your growth, on just the transformation maybe that was created from the summit?
Yeah. One very tangible thing is I did get a client out of the summit. I had a consultation with a woman who wanted to join my group program, and I asked where she found me, and she said, "Oh, I was getting your emails. I think it was because of the summit I joined." And I asked, I was like, "Oh, was it this summit?" And she said, "Yeah, it was." So she came to me from the summit and ended up being a paying client. So that was like one really tangible result from it.
Yeah.
But beyond that, too, it's just, I've always considered myself a pretty good speaker because I love to talk and I'm very energetic. But I feel like the summit really helped me step into that identity a bit more of I can be a speaker. And that's led me to down the road, I'm now seeking out more speaking opportunities, and there's paid speaking opportunities. Like, I didn't even realize I was talking to a coach the other day, and it was literally her entire business was just doing paid speaking opportunities. Like, she'd get paid $10,000 to this presentation, and that was like her month. And I was like, "What? I didn't even realize that that was a possibility." And so I think being able to go into this new identity of I am a speaker, I am someone who can give a presentation on these things. I'm someone who does email my list regularly. I'm someone who does post on social media. I feel like it's this identity shift that really helps boost you into a coach who's making more money or is starting to make money. Because if you're not doing that now, if you've never given a presentation, if you've never spoke before, if you've never done emailing or any sort of marketing, it's going to feel a little bit difficult because it's a new identity you're going to have to shift into. But then when you start doing this and you start being built up and encouraged and you're building this confidence, then it becomes so much easier to be like, yeah, this is just who I am now. And this is just part of my business that I do regularly.
And that is so true. And I tell you guys, if you do not do this, if you don't email, if you don't post on social media, if you don't talk to people, if you don't do workshops, you can do all the amazing things in the world and have the beautiful courses that you've created and like hire somebody to help you with a podcast and all those things. But if you do not do these basic things like email, social media, talking about your business, you have no business.
Mm.
It doesn't matter how pretty of a package you put together, or even, like I said, get yourself out there like through a podcast. People have to know they should listen to your podcast. And you learn that by you growing an email list, by you talking about your business, by you being active on social media, all those things that basically we kind of force you to have to do when you are a part of the summit. Anyway, anything else you want to add about the summit? And then I want you to share about your business and how
Yeah.
we can connect with you.
One more thing that came up was you have to get in front of new audiences. And this is something that I've realized in my business is I hit a little bit of a lag this year because I was in the back end creating. I mentioned I've created so many workshops. I love doing workshops, but I'm teaching a different workshop every month to the same audience,
Yeah.
and I'm not getting new people in it. And I think a lot of people hit this where in the beginning, really at any point in your business, but in the beginning, you're telling people about it, you're finding new clients, it's getting momentum. But I saw myself and so many other people getting stuck at this like lag because they stopped finding new audiences. So you're doing the marketing, but you stop thinking about people are not just going to land upon your Instagram.
Yeah.
They have to find your Instagram. They have to find your podcast. They have to get on your email list somehow. And if you're just sending out emails to the same 10 people, nothing's going to happen. So you have to be getting in front of new audiences, which is a big focus in my business. And that's why I'm so excited to do the summit, is because it's a really good way to use other people's audience in a really helpful way that's benefiting everyone in a very loving, mutualistic way. So just really reinforcing that, like, yes, even when you're doing the marketing, you need to think about how are people coming across your marketing, because they're not just going to fall out of the sky and end up on your email list. You got to go find the people to get on your email list.
That's right. Share how they can get your audio or whatever else it is that you would love to gift anybody who's listening. If you want to share those
Mhm.
details, we'll make sure to include them in the show notes. Or if you're listening on YouTube, we'll have those there in the
Mhm.
description as well.
I'll give Debbie the link for my Stop a Binge audio. Like I mentioned, it's this quick and easy audio that will help you through if you're having any urges to eat. And even if you're not someone who struggles with binge eating and overeating, you're still welcome to get it and kind of see an example. I also have a 10 email sequence that comes after that warms up my people. You're welcome to get that and kind of see like, how do I warm up the people after I get this audio or after a freebie? If you're interested in learning more about my work specifically related to binge eating and overeating, you can find me at my website, theconfidenteater.org. And there's also a link there to my podcast called Become a Confident Eater, which has lots and lots of episodes on all things tips on binge eating, overeating, body image, changing your diet, all of that good stuff.
I'm excited. Amber will be our guest coach, and we will have other guest coaches. When we select those guest coaches, it also gets all of our speakers in front of their audiences too. So last year we had a great lineup of some pretty big name coaches that had big audiences. It's a fun opportunity to get exposure in lots and lots of ways. So glad that you're here, Amber, and shared all about that as well. If you guys are ready to grow your audience, if you want to get seen, if you just want to get your business off the ground, if you want to be seen as an expert, Amber talked about that, the credibility that comes with being a summit speaker, then I want to invite you to apply to be a speaker now. This is your chance to get support. This happens one time a year, one time. Okay. And I don't know any other coach that does a summit in this way where we really are teaching you and curating an experience for you so you know how to do it time and time again. If that is you, then make sure you get with me as soon as possible because we actually have already started our coaching sessions. We actually have separate coaching sessions for our summit speakers, but we've still got time to add you to the group. So debbieShadid.com/schedule. We would love to have you there. It'd be super fun. So Amber, it is always fun to see you. Thank you for being here. I can't wait to see you at the summit. Anything last minute you want to add?
I think that's all. I've been on Debbie's podcast like 2 or 3 times already
Yeah.
before, but it's because I love Debbie so much and she's amazing. So go sign up for the summit. I think you will really enjoy it. You won't regret it. It will build your credibility, your skills in so many new ways. And I have nothing but positive things to say about it.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. So fun. Okay, you guys have a beautiful day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.